Hello, friends,
Happy Sunday.
neighbors, countrymen.
Caught me in the middle of a yawn. It wasn't even on purpose.
Did you really?
A little bit.
Is that going to be the opening thing?
I hope not.
I hope it is.
Oh,
hope it
man.
is.
It's a little
Happy-
bit. It's a little bit late.
A little bit late, y'all. A little 8.
When we say 8,
10-ish.
we mean 8:15. That's what we mean.
We mean the hour will be 8.
Not even always. Sometimes it's not even the hour that we said. This
It's
time
fine.
it is
It's
the
fine.
hour that we said this afternoon, not the 7 o'clock hour.
Not the 7 o'clock hour. The hour is 9. I hope you've had a wonderful Sunday on this day. And for the 3 or 4 of y'all that are joining us this late, that are still awake, we're glad that you're here on our back porch. In the dark. One of Shauna's favorite things.
Oh,
Back
yeah.
porches in the dark.
Oh, yeah, because of all the bugs. They love to
I
come
don't-
out with our lights.
You can't hear a single bug out here right now. Listen.
Actually,
hear
it's
anything.
the lizards that, if the lizard comes, I'm running. I've already said
If a
that.
lizard comes,
we came
it's
out here and
over.
I said, "Ooh, this looks lizardy."
Those were her
I don't-
exact words.
And I'm really still. We have these blue-tailed lizards that
They're salamanders. They're quick.
they're sphinx.
They're
I think that's what they're called.
sphinx.
I think so, blue-tailed sphinx.
I'm questioning that.
We
Sounds like-
Googled it once because the kids wanted to keep one as a pet in the house, and I was saying no about that. And then Caroline pulled its tail off, so we had to Google it to see
Yeah.
if the tail would come back.
Did it?
It does. It does come back. We didn't.
So that's
keep
what we
it.
told the kids.
Oh, we really
There's
did.
a lot of tailless lizards around here.
This was during COVID. We had time on our hands to research things like, do lizard tails regrow? And they do. She's pulled
Just
off
for fun.
more than one since then. She kind of has a knack for it. So,
That's good
so there's
stuff.
that. But I'm not a lizard
Luke,
fan.
yesterday,
nor do
our
I want
oldest
to come near its tail.
Caught a fly with his bare hand inside the house.
Just like
Put
this.
it in a little bug thing.
I think
kept
it
it
was
as
a
a pet.
recycled candy,
Recycled candy dish.
like gum container. or
Kept it
something.
as a pet for a few hours and,
And
didn't
then
let it go
set it free
in the
in the
house. I was
house.
like, look, nerd,
It's
at least.
still, just now, it was buzzing around. I'm like, Luke,
He's like, there goes Billy.
Get
I'm like,
this
stop it.
fly.
I don't care
Get
what
this
you named him.
fly.
Get him out of the house. We cannot. No. No. She can't handle
bugs,
lizards.
lizards, rodents, snakes, all the above.
Children, sometimes. We don't know
I can handle children.
our kids most of the time.
I can handle all children. Danny
I'm not.
has
I'm
a
not.
limit
All-
of the
if
children.
there's anybody here, just have a feeling, any kindergarten teachers by chance. I respect you and your calling and what the Lord is doing in your life, because I couldn't do it. I couldn't. If the communists invaded tomorrow and said the way to set this country free is for Danny to teach little kids all day, every day for the next 50 years,
That's it.
you better stock up on
Find a
some
new-
ammunition,
Find
because
a new plan.
it's going to be rough. Like I like them. It's just a lot.
I don't know. You used to be like, I remember when you did youth ministry.
Oh,
it was
youth ministry, I
fun.
crush. Oh, I like kids all the time. I like kids all day long. It's just
He was
all
a good
day,
youth pastor.
all day, every day. That's
We
a lot.
had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun.
We did had a lot of fun. It was really fun. Heather, you're much better
Some
at
of our
it than me.
youth people have even found us and now come to church with us here,
I know.
which is awesome. That's very fun. But they weren't small children. Heather's a kindergarten teacher.
Heather. That's a kindergarten teacher
Kindergartners are
emoji
sweet. I
too.
don't know what you're talking about. They're precious.
Emoticon. Miss Linda, thanks for
They are
joining us
precious.
tonight. And Pam Lanier Hardiman, we are glad that you're here this evening.
Yes, Miss Linda, I'm still glad you're
On-
feeling better.
I
That is
am too, Miss
awesome,
Linda.
Awesome.
It's a good time. I was just going to sit and
We've
listen
hit-
to the
we've hit
silence
a
tonight.
lull.
Y'all, it's been a good day. We had a great 2 services at church this morning. To anybody that was in the building or got a chance to watch, bless your heart. Somebody should call that man dad. But had a great time in the building and had a fantastic turnout once again. Very thankful.
Today, church seemed really full.
know.
The balcony was full, both
Balcony was
services.
full
So
of
many
teens.
teenagers. I don't think there's any more room for any more.
One of the cool
teenagers.
things. So if Natalie and Blake see this sometime later today, that Blake is our youth pastor and Natalie's his wife, Shawnee's sister. But I saw 2 different couples. This was neat. First time ish, guests that were there. And both of them, at one point, as I was standing nearby, turned around and said, "Oh my goodness, look!" And they pointed up at the balcony, and it was full of teenagers. They're like, "There's so many kids up
It
there."
like took my breath away. For some reason, it just caught me off guard today to look up and see how full the balcony was,
Yeah.
just of teenagers.
Full of teenagers.
It
So
was really
neat.
cool.
And
There were maybe
today-
a couple of select adults that somehow found their way up there, and
I saw Brian and Tamara up there.
That's- yeah,
I was
I
like,
saw you guys.
I saw them after the kids left, and I was like, bless their hearts. That's
yeah,
legit.
because once
right
they
there.
all leave, you're like, oh, it's really spacious up here. But until then, you're kind of fielding a lot of just socialization there.
A lot of teenage stuff going on.
I say
Waddies,
all the
we're going
time,
to try here tonight.
I wish
Stop,
that
you rock.
I wish you would come teach my class one day. I keep wishing it.
We'll keep wishing upon that
Sometimes
star.
Danny comes by and drops off coffee just to make everybody go like, "Oh, that's awesome."
Not the teenagers. The
I'm like,
teenagers
"Do you
have this
wanna-"
reaction
the
to everything in
teenagers
life. They
don't.
go,
They're like, "Whatever."
"Who's this random
dude.
guy? I don't care. I don't care."
Whatever. Just why are you here? You don't belong here.
Sure.
But somebody from church always lets him in, which I'm thankful for because then he brings coffee straight to my classroom door. So
That's what we do.
It's fun. But I'm always like, "Do you want to come in and talk about some math?" He's like, "Nope. Don't even want to. Not even gonna.
I don't even want to pretend
Not
to
even gonna
entertain
walk
that
through
thought.
the threshold of the door. I'm just gonna hang in the hall and say bye."
I do that. I do it well.
He's
I
like a
don't belittle
fixture.
math. I don't belittle math. I don't downgrade it. I don't say, "Oh, I was terrible at this." I just go,
Because he knows better.
"No thanks."
Listen to me. Do
No
not
thanks.
walk into a math teacher's room and talk about how much you hate math. Please don't do that. Don't do that. We don't do that to anybody
First
else.
off,
Come on.
Can we be honest and ask ourselves, how many of us are going to walk into a math teacher's room this coming week? You know?
But if you do,
But if you do,
you better pretend
hand
like
the cup of coffee.
you better
and walk
pretend.
away. Say hey to the
like,
kids
I
and
am
just
so
pretend.
thankful that someone taught me this in my life because it teaches perseverance, critical thinking, so many things that you gain from a math class, even if you don't need the math later.
That's exactly what I think. Every
That's
time
what
I walk in
everyone should say.
My
There
first
you
thought
go.
is,
There's your
what's
script.
this math teacher? Well, let me get her number. I mean, I'm just,
Yeah.
and the kids are like, nobody laughs at dad
The
jokes.
kids are not. They're not. They're like, why is this random man at our door with a cup of coffee?
I know.
But they have figured out that it's usually on Monday. Hint, hint.
Monday.
Maybe
Because
tomorrow.
me and Johnny France get together. Johnny, see you in the morning.
The new coffee shop in town is it's going
The
well.
Sinclair. We're checking
It's
it
going
out.
well. And sometimes a surprise latte shows up at my door.
Sometimes it's there.
Sometimes on Monday. The kids are like, hey, it's Monday and your husband hasn't come yet. Is he coming? They've noticed. It's a trend now.
I might not show up tomorrow just for kicks and giggles. Just kidding.
I was looking forward to it.
No, but Blake and then packed out the balcony. Leanne, it was her first Sunday back
my
since
goodness.
bearing a child. And, I mean, officially, last week she was
Cool,
there.
say it like that.
Leanne, there's so many kids, y'all. You can't make these numbers up. She texted us and did the average from kindergarten to fifth grade is our campus. 103 kindergarten
That's
to fifth
regular
graders.
attenders, and we typically
Where
say they're in the building twice a month or more.
Are we
to be a
putting these
regular
kids?
attender.
I don't even know. It's insane.
When
It's
I
magical.
passed the
We don't
baton
do
to
magic. Biblical.
Leanne, which has not been a terribly long time ago, there were 100 kids on our rosters.
The
Total,
roster.
from baby to 18. There were
Y'all.
100, or baby to 5th grade maybe.
Maybe the fifth, maybe.
But
Now, to have that many
100
regular-
just in that little annex room. I don't know how much time you spend in that room.
Pray for them. Take those folks some coffee.
Even 50 at a time. Guys, 50 at a time is a lot.
93% of the people on Sundays will tell the preacher that's preaching that Sunday, "Man, you worried about the time? Just take your time." You know who's not? The folks that are locked in that
Yeah,
room with
ask
50
those
kids.
people
Like,
down
no,
there next to the
time
living room.
matters, bro. Wrap it up. Get them safe.
You can
Let
just
the Lord
walk
move.
by and get the
Waltz
stress.
on out of there. They're like,
Yeah,
this
they're
is-
actually amazing. But
They're
you
fantastic.
have to
It's
be
insane.
a true
Can't make it up. It's
volunteer
legitimate.
who loves the Lord to do that job because it is
Very, very
loud in
thankful.
there and very exciting.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And I
Pam,
don't even know what the
thanks.
baby
That's
room.
very sweet.
There's like baby rooms hidden back there now,
I know.
out of sight. I don't go by the middle. The blue room is
I don't know.
what we call it.
There's nooks and crannies everywhere.
I think those kids are having a lot of fun. I know. I think the Cronins some of the Cronins have bumped up to the toddler room,
Oh,
and
okay.
some of the other
Okay,
Cronins are in
Cronin's,
the
I see how
baby
you roll.
room.
Trunk or treat time.
And Mr. Alvin, y'all, if you don't know Mr. Alvin, he's a celebrity in the toddler room, but he has kept the baby nursery from day one at our church, and he is a rock star.
He's
in the baby
fantastic
room.
with it. It's wonderful.
So we have awesome volunteers. I can't say enough good about them all.
The last few days, I don't want to say overwhelmed because that's a strong word, but overwhelmed with the goodness of God is fun. I've been reminded of the goodness of God so many times. I was thinking about that on my way home. Had a wonderful church services today. Y'all, we fed the football team dinner Wednesday night, Friday morning, and Friday night. I got to do chapel with them Wednesday night. Jeff Rogers did Wednesday night at church. But I saw 3 or 4 kids, a lot of kids from Lake Point. It was really neat. The Friday afternoon meal, the coach
don't
said,
know
"How many of you kids go to
what
Lake
time
Point?"
it was.
And y'all, all these kids raised their hand.
It's very cool.
And I just want to I'm not going to name him, but one of the guys, young man, good man, asked me at one of those meals, said, "Hey, Pastor Danny, I'd like to have a meal with you just to talk about some stuff that's on my mind."
Very cool.
So I left church, had great services, got to go to lunch with him, and it was amazing. Just listen to him, just a good man that loves the Lord and is reading his Bible and is sharing his faith, just having a conversation. And he's 17 years old. So I did this at the Chop House, which was lovely. I was like, this is absolutely crazy. And just stayed for a long time, got to come home, and then went back out to John Thomason's life group and Michaela Cook and his daughter Sarah's life group. That's the college and career kind of age.
Double life group dinner.
Boom. Double the doses, double the fun. It was fantastic, y'all. Both of those life
You
groups.
guys eat, because those groups always eat so great.
I don't even know. It was burgers, hands down, fantastic. And then
If you're gonna like
But
drop
you
in
gotta
on
know
on a life group, this
which
is the
small
one.
groups
Guys,
are 10.
buck
I'm
head
trying to
manor,
get
just
around to
drop
see all
in.
of our small groups. So if you're in one, I'm coming to hang out.
The kids and I laid low tonight.
Y'all,
We
there's
stayed
so many. There was a
home.
few things going on in the hair house, but it was really good. So if you are looking for a life group and you live in or near the Morgan County area, it's a massive area. This group, John Thomason's group's mostly folks that have kids that are, I think there are a couple of high school kids,
Older
like
than
10,
ours,
11th grade.
yeah.
Not necessarily as many of the little kids run around. It's a fantastic group. I would love to get you involved with it.
They have a
Talk to
brand new
us.
pool at their house, so
They asked me if I wanted to swim tonight. And I was
In
like,
the summer.
my kids would, but I can't. It's
oh
too
man,
cold.
I told the kids it's too cold to swim.
Too cold to
we
swim.
didn't go because they're not swimming, is what I said.
But then Michaela and Sarah's group is just not, they're all these, I don't know, 18
Young
to
adults,
25, 24
really
year olds.
accomplished, sweet kids.
Really,
Very
really good
awesome.
stuff. So two very great life groups. If you're in either one of those categories or you're looking for one, then we
Buckhead
want to get
Manor
you
is
plugged
the
in.
place for you.
I was very, very thankful for that. So, and they got to come home and sit on our back porch for a little bit. It's wonderful. Pam,
Good day.
yes.
Always. We always need help. In all
Pam,
of
come
this.
on up. Bobby Jean,
Miss Leanne
hark
Howell
back to you,
is
Bobby
the
Jean.
one to talk to. You can tell us that you'd like to volunteer, and we will probably remember to tell Leanne. But Leanne Howell
Leanne
is the one.
she usually watches this later. She's getting her
I'm
kids
pretty
stuck
sure
in.
her email is leanne@lakepoint.cc. Yes
If
or
it's-
no?
If it's not, email that one.
Admin@lakepoint.cc.
that'll
Tell
get you there.
Leanne.
Tell Leanne.
Subject line. Tell
For
Leanne.
real, Pam, we'd love to get you plugged into it.
We are not the ones. We will eventually remember, but not as
We're going to
quickly.
try. Jenny, hi. I'm glad you're here tonight as well. Hope your family's doing well, Jenny. I hope your family's doing well. I don't have to follow up. That's all I got.
That's it. There's nothing to say.
But no,
nothing else to
wonderful
say.
Sunday. This coming week, we are having Wednesday night again in the building. This coming Wednesday, we'd love to see you or join us online. Last week, we had Jeff talk because I was doing a thing for the high schoolers. I don't think it made it online last week, but it'll be back on
And
there this
no
week.
dinner was fed. As much confusion.
No dinner
There's
this
been much
Wednesday.
confusion. Yeah.
So it'll be a good time, y'all. Looking forward to it. So come on out. Maybe we'll see you there, and look forward to catching up. Do you have anything you want to share with the class?
I had a great lunch with my brother and my parents and my brother's Marine friend. He surprised all of us one at a time by coming home last week on, was it Tuesday? Monday or Tuesday of last
Yes.
week? Tuesday.
If you could get a poster for a Marine, it should be Zachary.
Yes, and this particular Marine has 4 sisters and 2 parents, and he spent all day. I think Natalie had to be in on it because she's the family manager. She runs the family. That's not an insult, Natalie.
She's
You know.
fantastic. She's great at what she
She's in
does.
charge of everybody. And so she orchestrated with a big shout out to Michelle Walls
Michelle
and some
Walls.
of our husbands
Thanks, Michelle.
worked together
For real.
to really truly surprise every single one of us one at a time. He just like
It was really neat.
drove around the counties, showing up in different places, surprising everybody. It was really super fun. And then today was his last day in town for a little while, and he was able to come to church and
Yeah.
eat lunch with us. We had a really good time. So
Just
great day. Yeah.
Thankful for him.
Super thankful for that.
It was really neat.
Mm-hmm.
So a good Sunday. Pam, we'll get you in there. Jenny, Chaos of Living Girl, we got you. I got that.
We understand the chaos is happening. We signed our kids up for 3 different sports that all have 3 completely different
Schedules and practices and everything.
that cover the span of every single week for 6 weeks. So what were we thinking? I don't know. And will we do it next fall? Probably, because we do this,
Let's do this.
a lot. But
Let's just see what happens, y'all.
Nathaniel has started football, which is amazing.
It's amazing. If
Y'all,
you're bored, Thursday nights at
This
7:30.
video, you need to watch the video. Of
I need to
these kids
post that video
running
later.
through their banner. and
Before
then-
we walk through the banner, Ty Howell will stand next to me and say, I think these boys are a little too close to that banner to
They're
get the
5.
forward momentum enough to like break through paper. Didn't hit it. One
bulletin
boy-
board paper, like not.
It was the best thing I saw all night.
You
it was
need
the
you
best.
need to tell the cheerleading coaches to like start give a little
We need to like
give a little
perforate
start
that,
Yeah.
like get it
because
going.
they like close on themselves on that bulletin board paper. It was amazing.
And then he got trampled.
thing I've
He got
seen.
clotheslined and then trampled. It was wonderful.
And then we lost.
But we only got one touchdown.
It was a lot of fun though. It was so great. Anyway, so we've got that. We've got cross country and cheerleading. So much cheerleading. So then we cheerleaded at the high school game. We've been to all the things.
I
All
love it.
good. Fun.
The Lord has
chaotic
been
thing.
good to
Yeah.
us. Sarah Thomason said, "Hey, a minute ago, Sarah, if you don't know this, I was just at your house a little while ago. Not in a creepy way.
I feel like she knows.
NA visiting with the
Hope
small
she
group
knows.
way, life group. Michelle, it was fun. Nikki Carter, happy Sunday to you. Thank you, Chase, for being concerned about my coaching football. He shared that with me after church today, and he's welcome. We have a practice, I
He's
think,
wait-
tomorrow night at 6:30.
He's just the assistant to the assistant, Chase. Don't worry.
I'm like the assistant to the assistant
Were
regional
you
manager.
in? You were in the pictures.
I'm in the pictures.
were-
I'm wearing a blue shirt and a blue
He
hat.
matches. He dresses in blue to match the team and everything.
No offense to
He's
anyone who
the real
might
deal.
work for the camera crew that takes pictures for the rec department, but if you do, you should be fired. Like,
Danny,
it.
that's terrible. Don't say that.
It's the least organized thing I've ever seen. I'm not
I
gonna.
mean,
It's like I'm
a
looking around like,
spreadsheet, like something.
you
Is
talk
there-
about chaos, Jenny? Did you go to that stuff? I was like,
We've
okay.
already talked
It's
about
like
this
one
here.
kid at a time. Like you come. I'm like, these kids are 5. I'm getting bored. Like you have lost my attention span. No offense. You can't take offense if I say no offense.
but you should be fired. No offense.
That I'm just saying. I learned a lot. I learned a lot that night.
I think fired is a strong
Well,
word.
Billy said you can get here at 6:15. I was like, what time does it start? What time does the click-in take place? And he's like, 6:45. It's like I'll get there at 6:50.
Here's
That
the
sounds
trick.
safe.
Here's the trick, though. Here's the trick. The time is irrelevant. It's whenever
Time,
all your
it's
people are
on
there, and then
me
you're like,
present. Like it doesn't even
get
matter.
in line. If everybody's there, I don't care if you're 30 minutes early. Stand in that line because I guarantee you, if you're all there, they'll take your picture and you can leave early. But if one kid is not there, you're stuck. You're gonna be there, and that's a good policy. Where was that policy when we missed the soccer picture?
Oh no, Melissa. Are you a photographer for the thing? I
Oh,
wasn't trying
no.
to. This is my last day at Lake Point. It's over. It's been fun. They are.
I've
There's
never,
so many
I've never
kids.
seen her. At the
Oh wow. I'm just. Oh, just
We
wrecked
okay.
it now.
I'll throw us under
Shante,
the
help
bus.
me. Throw us under the
Danny,
bus.
you ruined it. You can't. Go
I
back.
can't.
You
I never go back.
He
Rec
really,
scheduling. Can't wait to watch Heather.
strong. He was
the
being
Band
too
of Videos
strong.
Classic. I was
There
being too strong.
was.
I got carried away.
There was a season when we were new to Morgan County and we were driving from Covington to put our kids in the Morgan County teams, which was so great. I mean, really, we loved it, but it was a long drive.
She's been to me.
And we missed the group picture, y'all. I mean, by 45 seconds.
We're so close.
And on that day, we're running. We have little kids.
Johnsons.
Nathaniel was months old. I mean, maybe brand new. And I just remember running across Billwood Park with a car seat, both kids in matching jerseys, and we missed it. We missed the whole picture. And they were like, oh man, it was like 1 minute ago right here. And I was devastated. And since then, I'm like, it's whatever. I don't even.
If I can be honest, I don't remember that day or many other
I will
pictures
never forget
because
it,
I'm like,
but
it was.
I was mortified. I'm like,
We've
these
learned a
people
lot.
are going to think we're falling failures as parents. No, those people don't care. We are those people now. We don't care.
Weird.
We don't care.
Those people that
I
we don't.
mean,
It's not that we're lazy.
I'm going
it's
to take
just
a
don't care.
picture of the group of kids on my iPhone because it's easier. I don't know.
It's not. Wow, we just ripped those people apart, and I pray that they all know the Lord.
I ordered
Maybe
pictures.
they're in church service somewhere.
I ordered
tonight.
pictures and I think that they're sweet, but
They
the
are
process is
The best, the
Nuts.
cherry on top. Then we'll talk about something biblical. The cherry on top was we finally got out of the picture day, a little hour and a half after we got there, and then we got out, and I got to the truck and realized that the check that was supposed to go in the envelope for the pictures was still in my top pocket.
Danny.
I know.
Danny.
So I said, Nathaniel, we got to go back, son. So we pulled back. I said, you stay in the truck. I pulled right down next to the door in the parking lot. I walked in and got to know him, and I was very kind. It was okay. We got through it.
Shanna, thank you for always being the voice of reason as a parent who has kids ahead of me in life.
Devastated.
At that stage in life, Shanna Stevens was one of the best people
Shanna, you
that
are.
I knew to
You
say,
encourage.
don't worry about this.
You did.
This is not the end of the world. And you know what? She was right. Do not worry. It's not the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world.
You
You
are
know what?
going to
Our kids
get
are fine.
pictures of your kids in all the jerseys 100,000 times. It's okay.
A lot. It's
You
crazy.
will. You will. You will have
there.
thousands of pictures of soccer jerseys and all the jerseys.
It's true.
Right now, Nathaniel's wearing baseball cleats to play football, and he doesn't know it. Don't tell him.
His shorts. Did you fix those last Wednesday?
Well, they had.
They
He,
changed them out.
he
His
just
uniform
wore his
shorts.
own shorts. Don't worry about wearing the uniform shorts.
It's fine.
Guys, they don't fit.
It's fine. Totally fine.
We could go on, but I think we've beat that
Digress.
horse.
That one's gone.
It's gone. It's very dead.
So again, we hope you had a wonderful Sunday, and thank you for joining us on our back porch. We're passionate, to say the least.
A little bit.
A little bit. You got a verse over there, Mama Bear?
I don't. Was it John 5 this morning?
It was John 5 this morning. If you do have a Bible and you got a few minutes, you want to talk about the scriptures with us, we're going to talk just a little bit more about what I preached on this Sunday. First off, before we get to that part, music fantastic today. Great job, keyboard.
Thanks.
Fantastic job. Matt Watkins, fantastic. Absolutely crushed it.
Really, I brought the least to the table this morning. That was an awesome set. And
Great
everybody was
set.
really
Matt, for
just-
real. It was absolutely wonderful. Everybody that sang and played.
We had Jacob on bass
Jacob
this
on-
morning. Lucas
Who
on
raised
electric,
Jacob Waltz is what you gotta ask.
Carter on acoustic.
Oh, Madeline. It was
With
so
the
much,
A-team.
so much going on. So I
Jay on
did,
drums.
Jay on drums. It's
A-team.
ridiculous. But I did want to thank Matt for that and our praise team. Y'all, we had a lot of decisions made today at church, and a lot of folks that felt very led to share some things that were on their heart and ask for prayer. And it's just one of those Sundays you can't make up. You know, one of those Sundays where you go, okay, the Lord moved, and it was just really neat. So if you helped in any way today, or you're praying this morning, thank you for that, because it was a really neat thing to be a part of.
Jacob is a pretty cool kid.
He is a
Even
pretty cool
if
kid.
you are his mom, I
Trophies
still 100%
too.
agree.
The many years of sports pictures and boxes.
Trophies do. I'm telling you. I'm just a little bit of perspective for people who are a
Susie
little
Beans.
behind us in the timeline.
We're getting there.
Don't overthink it.
Don't overthink it.
These
Don't
sports
sweat
are
the small
supposed
stuff.
to be fun. If
Oh,
it's
we're having
not
fun.
fun, quit. It should be fun. We have lots of fun.
We have fun.
Running late for all the sports.
If anything, we're fun.
If anything, that might be all we are.
All. How do you say that? What do you say with that? All we are.
You can say that's all we are. That's the thing. I'm not
All we
supposed
are.
to-
It's fun.
It's
It's
so
about as sad as the Rutledge motto: small but special. I'm like, what are we doing, Rutledge RTO? Come on.
Small and special,
Oh,
Rutledge.
small but
And
special.
special. You
We're small, doggone, but we are special. I'm like,
no.
you could do better. Like, we could do better. I think the Heralds, well, they ain't got much, but they're fine. I wanted to get shirts for the
Listen,
Heralds
if
that
you have
says
to pick one thing to be, that's a good
fun is not bad. We were in Atlanta for a doctor's appointment a while back, and I saw these shirts that said "Welcome to the" or ATL, and underneath it said "We full." That's like the Herald house, like Herald car. Welcome to the Herald car.
Y'all,
We full.
the
Like, we
Herald
can't.
car,
We're
please,
just out.
if you see the Herald car, turn away. Do not look. Don't look in the Herald car.
Oh, my
Don't do
word.
it.
Oh, I hear you.
Oh man.
All right, y'all.
All right,
So
good
tonight
times.
we are going to talk about the scripture. If you're still with us, we would invite you to open up a device or a Bible, John chapter 5. What was the one you had texted me earlier when I was driving home? I didn't read it in the car,
Oh, sure you didn't.
but I
Siri
felt
read it
as
to
if
you.
I felt as if you had said something. What was that though? It was about the.
I think it says don't text and drive. I think that's what it said.
That's in the
I
Bible.
think John 5. I think it
John,
just said,
that joke, that prophet,
Danny, don't text
the
and drive.
revelation of John was legit. Texting and driving ahead of his time. My
Well,
bad.
I don't know. I didn't have my hard copy of my Bible in church today. It was on my device. So let me just look for a minute. There was one thing that you said that really stuck with me, and I really, really loved it.
Okay.
And I might have to paraphrase because I'm looking for it. You can
I'm
probably
sorry, I
tell me.
put you on the spot.
Jesus
My bad.
said, "Do you want to be well?" And the man, of course, did.
Mhm.
And he was like, but his first response is, "I don't have anyone to help me. Like I would be in the spring that can heal people theoretically if someone were here to pick me up, but I don't have anyone."
Yeah.
And so your point in the sermon was, have you ever felt like you didn't have anyone? Or it really meant a lot to me that you were just saying how Jesus seemed to always find the people who didn't have anyone.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't necessarily in the fancy church service or the Joel
Did that come
Osteen
across?
office,
I
as
hope
you
that was
said.
okay. I know. I got off on a tangent today, y'all, when that came to that
More
part of the
in
sermon.
first service than second.
More on a
I would
tangent.
Say.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But the
Maybe
point,
I'm
that's
wrong.
and I hope that came across well. I loved my job. I loved the church. That was the goal. But anyway,
Yeah, it kind of it seemed like a little soft, like maybe I should have an office.
awkward.
But
That's not what
listen,
we're going
guys,
for. I promise.
he has a great
That's
office
not,
at our house.
my life is
he's
good. For
fine.
real. No, that's
Seriously.
not the point I was making.
No,
Though-
I
and
knew
it
that.
just didn't come across like I wanted to. What I was hoping to get across was that, and I was having a good time with
You got it across.
Kevin
I'm
Magnus,
not-
by the way. Just giving him a hard time. I'm sorry,
Oh,
Kevin. If you're watching
come
this,
on
throwing
now.
the
We
bus.
are
Anyway,
just in the business of
watch
putting people
out.
out tonight.
He probably takes pictures at rec departments for fun. But knowing the point I was trying to get across was that I have struggled with that this week. And I talked to a young lady last week that was actually raised in foster care, and she's been adopted by her parents now, and she's helping us plan the foster parent meeting. and I told her, I was like, sometimes I wonder if Jesus were to make a one day appearance in modern day America, would he show up at our church service, or would he show up at an orphanage or at a foster care gathering or even a homeless shelter? Like, would he go to, Jesus loves all the little children. Like, we know that. If you're a child of God, he will meet you where you are. We trust and believe that. But he does, especially in this story, surround himself in the masses of the most hurt people, like the most densely populated group of hurt people, which wasn't in the temple. Like, he went to the temple to teach and to rebuke and do some things, but he went to this place. One thing I actually read today after I preached it was talking about that, and it said not many people not many devout Jewish people in Jesus's day would have found themselves in that setting to begin
the
with.
sheep gate, from what I understand in my Old Testament, I'm reading through the Bible, and the sheep gate was established back in the Old Testament. And if I'm not mistaken, probably the Smileys or someone who's been there can really correct me if I'm wrong. I really am just sort of elaborating, and I don't know exactly. I'm pretty sure it was not the side of town that people really even necessarily did business. It kind of seems to me
when
like
it was a sheep gate for the shepherds to bring the sheep in.
Yeah, it was
who were
a
not
sheep
popular
gate.
people
It was not
or clean
like
people.
the upscale side of town.
And he's there with
Right.
a lot of people who in that day and age were deemed either sinful by birth,
You
or
wouldn't
they
have
had
them
done something,
sitting on these porches
Yeah.
in the main part of town.
which is interesting because Jesus finds himself there to do a healing on the Sabbath to tell everybody he's God. But then the Jewish religious authorities were also there, and you're like, why? You know, it was
Why
really
are
like a
they
big
there?
setup.
Right.
Another thing I've wondered, and we didn't get into this morning, is that according to Scripture, the guy never says, "Yes, heal me."
Yeah.
Jesus says, "Do you want to get well?" He says, "I don't want anybody to get me well. You're healed." Like, so
He's
it's almost
kind
like
of the least, like, of all the people that Jesus asked that, I feel like he's the one with the least, like, yes answer. A lot of the other ones are like, absolutely, I believe you can do it. You're the Son of God. This guy's like, I can't do it myself. And that's his whole response.
Yeah.
But I just really sort of was struck with the fact that he made a point to find the person who had no one. And maybe didn't even necessarily have a plan for how he was going to get well. For 38 years, his entire plan is, I'm going to sit beside this miracle pool where one person at a time every so often gets healed, and I'm lame. Like, it's not like, if, you know, I have the least chance of all these sick people of even beating everybody else to the miracle pool. And so this guy is not taking it upon himself to come out of the hole himself that he's in. Well, however he got there, I don't know. But he's sick, and he's been sick for a long time. And the most that he's bringing to the table is, I'm just sitting here, and I wish somebody would pick me up. And Jesus still heals him and still finds him in the crowd and says, do you want to be healed? And so it just struck me that I guess I just thought, who do I have in my life this week that I know they don't have anybody else?
Yeah, that's good.
Because Jesus found this guy. And I think that maybe there were people right next to this guy who had people that would pick him up and help him. But he clearly had no one. And so somehow Jesus singled this particular guy out. And so if we could just take a minute and think, who in my life that I know I'm going to see this week, not like maybe I'll run into a stranger in the parking lot. And that's fine if you do. But I just mean more intentionally.
Yep.
There is someone in your week that has no one else on their side. And you maybe are thinking, well, they haven't done anything for themselves, or they don't really. Take all that out of your mind and just ask yourself, is there someone that I know that has no one else? They are on their own, figuratively or literally or some way, they have no one to help them.
Yep.
And if you've ever been in that situation in any scenario, that's a hopeless place to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I've very, very rarely in my life felt like I was completely alone. But even in little ways, if you feel like you're going at something by yourself, that's tough and it's discouraging. So that just really struck me.
Yeah, that idea that somebody has no one. I'm trying. A few years ago, a good friend of ours, Kenny Bond, was at Piedmont Hospital, and we were doing a trip. We had a church trailer for some reason, and
Always.
it was full too. We were
It's the only
coming back
trailer
through
ever full.
town, and Kenny called me. He said, "Hey man, I'm in Piedmont. Is there any way you could come by?" And he was in a hard time right then, health wise, and I was like, "Yeah, we'll figure this out." So I asked Shanti, we're naturally all of us like, "Yeah, of course, let's go." So we pull up into Piedmont Chick-fil-A. There's a Chick-fil-A down the street from
Right
Piedmont.
across the street, yeah.
And I parked the truck and the church trailer in the Chick-fil-A parking lot, and I walked down, because I've been to Piedmont a lot with Kenny and a lot of the folks, and got up to his room, and the first thing, and I thought, he was in a very difficult physical time. I assumed, I was like, man, he needs prayer, and they don't know what's going on tonight. The first thing he said to me when I walked in the room was, Danny, can you please go across the hall and pray with the family from Alabama? I was like, why? He said, because they don't go to church and they don't know the Lord and they need hope. I was like, oh, okay. So I did. I said, I'll be right back, Kenny. And I went across the hall. Now they had family. They had a couple people there. But that was what you're saying a minute ago, that idea of like, no, there are people in the world that have no one, or especially no faith. And I wonder sometimes, man, who in my life, because I think we do a good job of making it seem like everything's good on the outside a lot of times. But Jesus was, y'all. So many times in Scripture, he sought out the people, and that might have been a weak illustration, because he sought out people that had no one else around them. Like the woman at the well. He said, what are you doing? He had a whole conversation. Lepers, so many times throughout the New Testament, Jesus is having an encounter with lepers who were actually cast out of their society and told not to touch. When they were walking down the street, they would have to shout out, don't come close because I'm a leper. And Jesus went directly to them and touched them. So that's a solid question, because this guy does. He said, what a sad place to be.
If you don't feel like you have someone, like if you're legitimately thinking, I don't think I have anyone, I don't think I'm going to come across anyone, then change that. Like, what can you do to find someone, or what can you do to change your definition of alone? Because I think that people, like Danny said, they look alone or they look fine, but maybe they're facing a specific thing alone. Maybe they're not. Maybe they have resources or things that you would think, I don't think they need me. But start to see people the way that Jesus did. Because even the rich young ruler, Jesus still had a conversation with him. He had earthly resources, but he also didn't have the one thing that he needed. So there's people in your life who have certain things and they seem like they have everything going right, but maybe they just need you to be aware of something else that they are alone in. So be really thoughtful of all the different ways that can sort of play out. It's not always going to be the most significant, obvious person.
And I will speak. I haven't read the story in the last couple of days. There's another story where the four friends, or I think it's four. There's another man that can't walk. He was lame, and this house that Jesus was preaching was so packed, they climbed up on the roof and dug a hole through this dude's roof and lowered their friend down on that. And I don't want to be out of right way here, but I believe Jesus said when he saw the faith of the friends, he forgave the man's sins. Based off of the friendship. And so to me, y'all, there is something to this about us as believers seeking out people that have no one else to physically get them hope or help or assistance. That's a big deal for the Lord. And Jesus did that a lot.
If you are truly without hope in any situation, the best thing that can happen is somebody who has hope can be next to you and just be next to you and find a way to make that seem less alone, less lonely. And that's what Jesus did. He brought hope into the most hopeless situations. And so all of us have different jobs. Some of us are teachers, and I think that's pretty easy for me to see. I'm always on the lookout for students and even coworkers who feel like they're in that category. And that's an easy application. Not everybody's job applies so directly to that. But even just in all the things that you do, in all the places that you go, be looking at every single person the way that Jesus did. And I guarantee you will find someone who seems like, man, they seem like they're at this all by themselves and they just need an encouraging word or more. It's sometimes more than an encouraging word. And I think that that's another part where you started to describe, I think more in 11 o'clock service, just what this man's bed would have been like and how he probably kept it. And it really just struck me how this was probably a very unpleasant place for Jesus to visit, just because of his five senses. Like, I can imagine that it probably didn't smell very good. It probably wasn't very inviting. Lots of sickness makes most people very uncomfortable, no matter what. Disability can make people uncomfortable. And so for all the natural things that you could have been like, well, I don't really go over there because it's uncomfortable for me. He didn't do that. And so, just thinking of it in those terms.
Because a while back I thought, and I didn't fall through with it like I should have, but there's one time where people came up with Jesus. He's talking about sheep and goats, and goats don't know him, and sheep know him well. And he says to the sheep, like, you serve me all the time. And their response was where? When do we serve? And he goes through this list of things. And for a while I was asking myself, Jesus said, you fed me when I was hungry. You gave me something to drink when I was thirsty. You clothed me when I was naked. You visited me when I was lonely, I think, or in prison. He lists all 3 or 4 things there. And I asked myself, I was like, all right, if this is hardcore, but if you want an equation of like, Lord, how can I keep a tally, not to like earn good credits and go to heaven, but just to be like Jesus? I mean, he gives a few things. He says, no, find somebody that's hungry and feed them. Find somebody that's thirsty, give them a cup of cool water. Somebody that's naked or needs clothing, give them clothes. And in the prison or jail and visit them. But I think as a Christian, sometimes in a Sunday morning kind of setting, we can go, oh yeah, that's right. That's what good Christians do. But y'all, Jesus actually did those things.
The practicality of it can be very
messy
uncomfortable and messy.
Smell like
and
difficult.
You know what? You'll be in the thick of it and think, what have I done? And other people around you will also think, what is she doing? What is he doing? Why would you do that? Back up. This is a mess. Because it can be complicated. Loving people that are unlovable is not always going to be just like black and white. And so I think that is why the sheep are like, when did we do that? Because it just has to become part of who you are. And none of us have arrived.
That's
I mean,
right.
you're always growing. You can always improve in that. And that includes everybody.
Just being honest, one of the struggles I had as a younger Christian was this idea, this mindset that I think came from a little bit of religious background and different things. This idea that like, well, some people just don't deserve it. Just be not like some people aren't going to say thank you. Some people are in that situation on their own. A lot of those things can be very true. But out of this story in particular, if you notice, Jesus was never thanked for doing this. The man never said, oh my goodness, thank you for healing me. The man just gets up and runs, which is awesome. But Jesus never experienced gratitude or appreciation or thanksgiving out of that.
In fact,
and yet
he
he
got
still
a little
did
bit
it.
in trouble. I mean, this is the first time that the religious people who are kind of enforcing the law put a name with a face. They're like, who did
This is
this?
it.
And eventually the man is like, gets back. Jesus finds him again. He learns Jesus' name. First thing he does is goes and tells how his name is Jesus. And so even Jesus' payment for this is to be listed as, he's the guy who broke the law on the Sabbath. So his payment was negative for this. He didn't gain very much at all from this encounter, but he wasn't in it to see what he could gain. And I think that's a big paradigm shift for most of us.
But right, and it's a perfect example because Jesus found a guy whose first words were, and some of his only words were, I have nobody. I have no one, and Jesus helped him. The next little passage down, if you read the rest of John chapter 5, like 16, 17, 18 in there, Jesus starts like laying it out for everybody else that's around there. He says, no, I and the Father, like, we're pretty much one. And everybody in the room started to realize, you're claiming to be God's son.
That's
You
a big
can't
deal.
do that. But it's interesting, y'all, to know that Jesus used serving someone who had no one else to serve him as the platform, the jumping off point to tell the world that he was who he says he was. So this is just me. All right. You got friends that don't believe. You got friends that question the faith. You got friends that question Christianity. A lot of those things can be grounded in some good things, I guess. One of the things I have found that very few people, believers or not, can argue against is when someone is loving the unlovable or loving someone that can't pay them back. All right. You want to go out, find somebody this week that can't return the favor. They can't say, I owe you one. They have nothing in return, and love them with the love of the Lord. That's something that's Christ-like. And that's something that you can't.
Without
return.
concern for what you're going to gain from it at all. Because that is what Jesus did. He found the people who had no one, and he brought hope into their lives. And that was it. End of story. And that's how we have to start to be. The only other thing that I wanted to say about that is that if you are feeling like you are a person who has no one, then this is a perfect place for you, because that's what we're here for. That's what church is all about. And that's what I feel like I can say this with confidence. I know that Lake Point is all about that. We want to take the people who have no one. And it's a scary thing to look at someone and say, I see that you have no one, and our church is going to be that for you. I see that you don't have family here. You have said you're scared because you're breaking out on your own or whatever, and you don't have anyone to help you. Our church is going to help you through that. But I have had our church back me up in that in 1,000 different ways before, and they will do it again. So if you are the person who is saying, I would do this, but I don't want to be alone. I don't know how to do this on my own. You don't have to.
That's right.
And if it may be messy and we may have to work hard together, but we will do it. And we will find people to do it with you. And that's the most exciting thing about church, I think, is just helping people who one time said, I don't have anything, I don't have anyone, and putting them together with other people who said, I used to say that, and I can help you. It's been one of my favorite things that we've been able to do. So that you're our favorite kind of person.
That's right. So if that is you, y'all, well, you're in this with other people who care about you. Jesus always notices everyone who's seeking him, whether you're on top of the world or you feel like you're underneath the bottom of the world. He loves you. He has a plan for you, and we are going to be praying for you tonight before we go to bed. We will do that. Comment on here. Let us know if there's anything we can do to help you. You're a part of something bigger, of something more. And we're thankful to talk to you for a few moments on our back porch at 8-ish.
Oh, it's like, almost 9.
Almost 9-ish on a Sunday evening. Good Sunday. Hope everybody has a fantastic week. Any parting words of wisdom for anybody?
No, I think
Okay.
I think it's been a good day, and I'm looking forward to hearing good things from this week. That's it.
Guys, we're thankful for you. If you need anything, comment, reach out to us, and hopefully we'll see you either in the building or online on Wednesday night. I think we're talking about lying. I could be lying. I don't know. It's somewhere in there.
It's
I
one
think
of the
it's
10
one of the
commandments.
10.
The
That's
next
number-
one after murder. Whatever.
Yeah, there it is. I should know that, and we'll talk about it Wednesday night. Hope you all have a great week. Thankful for you. We'll
We
see you
love you
guys soon.
guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.